Hello, everybody. I'm in kind of a strange place today. I'm sitting in my truck waiting for someone to come out of the doctor's office for their just a checkup. And sometimes when you're kind of stuck for time, you have to do what you have to do. So I thought I would talk a little bit more about First Thessalonians while I'm waiting here. You might recall last week that we started reading from First Thessalonians, and the one thing we mentioned is this is the earliest piece of Christian literature that we have. The earliest. We have no other writings anywhere in our possession as early as what Paul wrote to the church here. We know he was there around 43 AD. And, well, to put it mildly, he had a bit of a rough go at it. He had been kicked out of Philippi. He wasn't really kicked out. They asked him, can you please get out? Because he had been slightly mistreated by the people in charge at Philippi. And when they discovered that Paul was a Roman citizen and they had done something they shouldn't have done, which is while he was in prison, they beat him with rods. And Roman citizens, you didn't do that. Well, they kind of asked Paul, hey, think you can keep this under wraps? We're going to let you go, but just go now so that we don't get into trouble. So they went off to Thessalonica, and they really couldn't stay there too long. If you read about what happened there, it's all recorded in the book of Acts. They basically didn't have a very long stay in Thessalonica either. They had to leave there. Now, here's the thing. When they were in Thessalonica, they ran up against some opposition in which they were accused of sedition toward the government. They were accused, and the thing is, it's right in Paul's letter when he called Jesus the Christ, the Messiah, our Lord. Well, there's only one Lord, right? If you're a Roman citizen, and that Lord is the emperor, is Caesar. So they got themselves into trouble, and now they ran into one other source of trouble, and that's recorded in our lesson that we'll be having this Sunday, in the second chapter of First Thessalonians. And what we find there is evidently there are people that are accusing Paul of being someone who was coming into town kind of on a whirlwind kind of tour and trying to get, if you will, disciples, getting people to basically sign up for one of his quick little courses on how to be a quick talker. Talking with trickery and deceit and things like that, and how to snowball people. Paul is saying, hey, that is not why we came. There are people accusing us of that. That is not what we did. We came simply to preach the gospel of Christ, to let people know that in Jesus we have something very, very special to share. And, well, so they had a lot of things going against them as they did their ministry in Thessalonica. So as Paul's writing back, remember, he's writing back just to check up on them, see how they're going, but also to say, hey, I hear such good things about you. I'm really excited. And that's what he's continuing to do here, kind of giving a defense of his ministry there, because there are still people who are questioning his motives for being there in the first place. And he's trying to say, hey, just look at how we did our ministry there. Even goes into, you remember our labor and toil, brothers and sisters, how we worked night and day so as not to burden you. He's not talking about preaching the gospel. He's saying that they actually worked. He did his work, his tent ministry, in order to provide for himself and not have to ask them for a thing. So, yeah, he was up against it, up against a lot of opposition. And yet he persisted. He persisted in what he was doing and continued to praise the people of Thessalonica for the wonderful way that they were responding to the gospel and how they were reaching out to others, even as their very lives were put in danger by naming and proclaiming that Jesus is Lord. Now, what we're going to be getting into in a couple of future passages here in Thessalonica, at the church at Thessalonica, is this big concern over Jesus coming again, but what if my loved ones have died before he comes again? Are they going to miss out on all the special blessings that Jesus has for us? We're going to see what Paul's answer is to that. Also, Paul's concern that they be prepared for the coming of Jesus. Paul was really convinced and really hoped and prayed that Jesus would return during his own lifetime. And you'll see that come through in many of his writings. Well, the rain has finally stopped. It's turning out to be a halfway decent day today. And from what I understand, we're going to have one more day of summer, even though it's the end of October. And that's this Friday. It's going to be pushing 80 degrees again. Woohoo! So this sweater's going to come off. Might even peel back the cover on the swimming pool, take one more dip. Nah, not really, but wouldn't that be cool if we could do that? Yeah, it would be cool. I'm sure that water's pretty chilly by now. But God's blessings be with you. Enjoy these autumn days. I went for quite a drive today, going here, going there, a couple of different appointments that I had. And let me tell you, it was just gorgeous out. The trees are at their peak, and it's not going to last long. So wherever you are, get out there, enjoy. God is beautiful in the way he has painted the countryside. Blessings be with you.